I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with some uplifting stories from across the country. First up, it's important for everyone to have an outlet, and that is especially true for our everyday heroes. We're talking about first responders. Candace Hare shows how a group of firefighters in Ohio have found a way to unwind.
There's nothing like a Thursday morning jam session. Strumming the strings, it's music to the ears. Good for John Michael Willoughby's mind and heart.
I'm a firefighter paramedic with Akron Fire. If you had a difficult call the night before, you had a busy day, you didn't sleep all night, you come home and kind of unwind with music.
Willoughby is one of the Akron Fire Department members that make up Soapbox. The music that saves them, beginning because they saved someone else.
We actually got Paramedic of the Month, me and Mark did once, two and a half years ago, and we had to submit an about me. So in it, I said that I played guitar, he said that he played drums, jokingly almost.
2 members then became 3, eventually growing to 5.
Working with people like this, it's kind of like your family. So, we're all best friends. So you get to hang out with your best friends on your day off. So it's a pretty fun experience.
Hanging out, playing their favorite jams.
Led Zeppelin who started me out, and then it moved on to Hendrix, and then eventually the Beatles.
I listen to a lot of hardcore and punk, so it's like John Michael said, it's very different than what they listen to.
A little bit of everything. But together, they're in perfect harmony, in tune with themselves and each other, so they can be there for you.
Music has been my tool to fill the gap of alcohol that I was using before to kind of numb my depression. Music saves minds is what I say. Everybody's got to have a way to express themselves, or that's what Soapbox is.
That was great. That was Candace Hare reporting. Now, the Akron firefighters say they hope by being transparent about their past unhealthy coping mechanisms that more first responders are encouraged to put their pride aside and ask for help if they need it. Alrighty, let's head over to Tennessee now, where sweet treats are bringing a community closer together as they rally behind a little girl living with a rare degenerative disease. Emily Crabtree introduces us to the family who was anxiously waiting for a potential treatment for their special little girl.
A lot of people will, say, oh, that's Rose's brother, or you're Rose's mom, or you're Rose's dad. So it's really Rose that's the superstar.
Rose Naquara is one of only 125 people living with mucolipidosis, or ML4.
It's a neurodegenerative disease. It kind of affects her whole body. It affects her eyesight very badly. It's degenerative, so it's going to get worse. So she can't walk on her own, she can't stand on her own, she can't speak, and she can't feed herself.
Rose was diagnosed with the disease when she was 2 years old. She and her family started hosting a bake sale to help raise money for research.
Hardly anyone knows about it, which means that hardly anyone knows to fundraise and do things for it.
And through that research, a treatment is in the process of being FDA approved.
A gene therapy was created at Mass General Hospital in Boston, and they're hoping to start the drug trial, to which Rose might be part of the drug trial.
Some local stores like Kroger and Dunkin' Donuts donated some baked goods for the sale. Friends and neighbors showed up all throughout the morning to get their hands on some goods.
We got people out holding up signs, and her teacher has come, and her therapists have come, and your teachers have come, so it's been great.
That was Emily Crabtree reporting. After several years, a chef is finally bringing her passion project to life. A kitchen showdown is happening in Minnesota. Look at this. An infusion of Latin cultures is creating a tasty melting pot. Jessica Hart shows us how the chefs are using their skills to help families they say are the cornerstones of their community.
At the heart of every kitchen is its chef.
It's like a tribute to the entire culture.
Soleil Ramirez crafted her menu with love.
My menu is inspired in memories, in people from my family, friends, trips, and every single little town in my country.
In 2023, she opened Krusky.
It's not like the regular Venezuelan restaurant. You can just go and just enjoy arepas or empanadas or tequeños.
Her twist on Venezuelan food caught the attention of the Food Network.
Actually, I didn't apply for anything. They contacted me.
She was one of 4 chefs featured on Tuesday night's episode of Chopped.
It was very refreshing. Give me like that kind of kick of you are doing something good, just keep pushing.
The show pushed her to bring a year-old idea to the table.
All the Latin chefs in towns are going to come to Krusky in partnership with me to create these amazing 3-course dinners to raise funds for different organizations.
She says the money raised will benefit immigrants to help with mental health and legal assistance, a struggle she understands.
I'm not from here, and I was in process for asylum for almost 9 years. I got my asylum approved 3 weeks ago. So I know what it is waking up every single day, not knowing what is going to happen with you.
It's why she's rolling out love the best way a chef knows how.
The most incredible thing about food is food doesn't have language. Food doesn't have barriers. Everybody understands food. So for me, food had always been the way I can communicate and I can help my community.
That was Jessica Hart reporting. When you get ready to start your day, many of you, you don't think twice about brushing your teeth, using deodorant, and everyday toiletries. But unfortunately, some people just don't have regular access to those necessities. But that is all about to change thanks to a group of students in Idaho. Maggie O'Mara shows us how the young leaders are helping those who need it most.
Here at Timberline High School, Key Club students from around the valley are putting hygiene kits together for Interfaith Sanctuary.
So in 2018 was the first year that we did a hygiene drive here at Timberline High School, and we have built on it every year, and this year we decided to organize it with other schools and clubs as well.
I think just the idea of being able to, give back to the community, that really inspired me, so I wanted to be part of that, and people should be able to have the necessities that they need. Making these kits for everyone just ensures that.
Teaming up with other schools made this hygiene drive even bigger and better this year.
So we were able to bring in lots of schools. We received donations from around the state.
Beginning of February, we started collecting donations, and we got donations not just from all of Timberline, but also from our community, which was really cool. All over the country, just so many donations from everywhere. It was crazy to see our advisors room just constantly every single day just piling up with more and more donations to put together.
These students say Key Club is truly a place to learn and grow.
I just really wanted to get involved with community service, and Key Club, that's our main focus, which is really awesome. I've gained a lot of leadership experience through it, just meeting a lot of people with common goals and working together.
And they are so grateful to our community and beyond for donating to the effort.
Probably got hundreds of different bags here, so it just shows, I think, how giving our community is and how willing we are to help people around us. So it's pretty awesome to see.
These teenagers are all.
I think the students, get to go home today knowing that their hard work really paid off and made a difference for members of our community.
That was Maggie O'Mara reporting. Now to Virginia to meet a woman who can do it all. Now, during the day, Kala works in computer sciences, but by night, she trades her computer chair for a hard hat and safety goggles as she digs tunnels. Whoa, she's documenting the entire process on TikTok, where she is getting millions of views. Now, despite seeing loads of success on social media as Kala the Science Girl, Katie Lusso explains how she's also facing a few setbacks.
This is a sub-basement.
This is Kala.
I built this around 10 years ago.
Showing us her basement.
I always wanted to expand it.
You may recognize her as...
It's your girl, Kala. Sometimes Kala, the Science Girl, based off of Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
That is, if you're one of the more than 600,000 followers she has on TikTok, a following she grew by digging.
We have a whole list.
Literally. She took us inside the tunnel she's been building under her Northern Virginia home since 2022.
It goes about 30 feet down the first tunnel.
But in 2024, after people complained, she had to stop.
They did give me a stop work order and are requiring an immediate evaluation by a professional engineer.
Well, she didn't give up. She got these.
These are the approved building plans.
She said the town approved her plans to build a tunnel. Why a tunnel?
Because it is the most challenging and complex project that you can do. There's a lot of mathematics, there's a lot of engineering.
Which, by the way, her day job is in computer sciences. This is her passion. Right now, her permit only allows for the tunnel she's built so far, but she has hopes to expand.
My goal would be to go outside of the boundary of the house in the backyard and then just build like a little shelter.
Is it a fear thing that you want to build a shelter?
Not at all, just for fun.
While she's received her fair share of pushback on the project, it's the positive that keeps her going.
A few people said that they're going into engineering because of my content.
In many of her videos, she explains her process.
I felt that this was a good opportunity to inspire people about engineering.
And something else.
You could have given up so many times. You hit so many walls with this. Talk to me about why you didn't give up.
Because persistence is in my DNA.
Something she hopes will resonate with her youngest followers.
I've always been very open about sharing failures that occur along the way. Failure is a better teacher than success. When something goes wrong, that's a learning opportunity that we can use to grow.
Alrighty, and the wise words of the 26th President Theodore Roosevelt: failure is a detour, not a dead-end street. I love that. That's a great message to take with you today. That was Katie Lusso reporting, and we have plenty more ahead for you on Featured. We are heading over to Texas to see an attraction that has been dubbed the most lickable place in America. And we're not talking about barbecue. We know Texas has some good barbecue. Plus, a giveaway where number 2 is at the top of the list. And a bit later, we will introduce you to the folks who are behind one magical experience in D.C. Welcome back. Let's head over to a place that few people get to check out, the top of the Washington National Cathedral in our nation's capital. Sean Martinelli introduces us to a group that has been ringing the bells and lifting spirits for more than 60 years.
In darkness, the Washington National Cathedral not only glows, on Tuesday nights, it rings.
Many people think it's automated. You know, they hear something going on up there, but they certainly do not visualize that there are 10 individual people pulling on ropes.
10 people rarely seen, always heard.
When it all comes together and gels, it's just a really magical experience at the end of the day.
That's Alexander Taft, ringing master for the Washington Ringing Society. And if that mustache didn't give it away.
Sometimes we might be a little eclectic or a little interesting compared to the rest of the world.
They are a group made up of teachers, programmers, lawyers, students, and doctors. People from different backgrounds here for the same reason.
We're 10 fallible human beings pulling on ropes connected to wheels, connected to bells that range in weight from 600 pounds to 3,600 pounds.
But when it all comes together perfectly?
Something magical about it. And thankfully the neighbors tend to agree, which is good.
If not,
one hopes they don't, buy a house right next to the cathedral.
Because overlooking a city of constant change, the ringers are here to stay. Among them are Quilla Roth and Ann Martin. They've stayed and played for more than 60 years.
Yes, we both were in the same class at school.
We're still here.
Still here since the society started in 1963. To them, this isn't just a hobby. Ringing is a responsibility.
Indeed it is.
During state funerals, they played. After the Iran hostages were freed, they played. After September 11th, they played.
It feels like part of bringing America together and expressing our wholeness at the same time as our sorrow. In some ways, it can be a moment of beauty in a very difficult time.
A group pulling down and lifting their community up.
Nobody can stop us,
Sean Martinelli at the Washington National Cathedral.
Another great story by Sean Martinelli. Now, you could say living a magical life was in the cards for Amanda Lindsay. She always knew that she wanted to become a magician. Well, now her dreams have become a reality. She is no longer impressing local residents with her card tricks. She will now try to fool a national audience. This is a very cool opportunity for her. Renee Knott shows us how.
I got it right here. We'll place it somewhere in the middle, and just like that, it comes to the top.
The dream to amaze with magic begins
watching television and being like, wow, I want to be able to do that stuff.
in her childhood.
Our 5th grade, where you'll be in 20 years, and I wrote that I was going to be a magician.
Well, the 5th grader is now living the dream. Even though she has a day job,
I am a children's therapist.
Magic Amanda is now the resident magician at Magic Mini Golf in the Del Mar Loop.
Truly an incredible honor to be here and to be performing magic and to have, you know, like legends looking down on me in a way.
She does have to clarify her job at times.
You get asked what instrument I play. They think I'm a musician.
But there is no mistaking what she does.
A lot of close-up material and a lot of parlor material.
When you see her sleight of hand tricks with the cards.
You have my 7.
Amanda's tricks, catching the eye of the famed Penn and Teller.
The 2 most, well-known names in magic right now.
Earning her a spot on their show, Penn and Teller Fool Us.
I feel like it validates my work as a magician.
She could not tell me exactly
Hey, magic!
how things turned out on the program.
Oh, I can't say anything.
She did give a hint.
Teller did say that, you're a flavor that we haven't had on this show. But that was off screen, and I think I can share that, so.
But if this doesn't become her big break in show business, don't expect Magic Amanda to stop trying to fool us.
And the 2 comes to the top.
Amanda's magical dream is not a disappearing act.
It's been part of my life for the past 21 years. I think it's going to continue to be for the next 21.
Oh, that's awesome. I love her laugh. That was Renee Not reporting. Time for a little bit of a brief break, but here's what's next. This 4-year-old, oh, I love this story. Make sure you stick around for this one. He was not happy with his mommy, and you won't believe what led him to call 911. Yeah, we are breaking down what he deemed an emergency and how those officers chose to respond.
Blessed. Finally, I blacked out for a little bit. I'm back to normal now.
Saddle up. We are heading over to the Houston Rodeo to meet a teenager who got an unexpected surprise. All right, let's check out what's buzzing online. First responders receive calls for a little bit of everything, but I can bet you a dispatcher in Wisconsin was not expecting this call. A 4-year-old decided his mommy was being bad, and he had no choice but to call the police on her. Here's why.
Did you call the police?
Yeah.
Why?
I told my mommy to go to jail.
Why do you want mommy to go to jail?
I didn't get ice cream.
Go to jail? Mommy deserves to go to jail. That's a little harsh. Now, when officers showed up, 4-year-old Desriel said he didn't want to press charges on his mother. He just wanted some ice cream. And look at this. 2 days later, those same officers came back to surprise the young boy with 2 scoops of ice cream with the sprinkles on top. How sweet. I have a little ice cream story of my own. Back in the day, my grandfather would take me to the grocery store after school, and he would let me have 2 half-gallons of ice cream to myself. Now, mind you, I was the first grandchild, so I was really spoiled. Later on, I went to the store with my mom. She only let me get 1 kind, and she told me I had a meltdown, huge meltdown in the grocery store aisle, screaming, "Papa lets me get 2 kinds." Yeah, my grandmother loves to tell that story, and so does my mom, so I get it. But calling the police is a little crazy. All right, sticking with police here. We know that job comes with some serious work, but it is important, that they also carve out a little time for some fun when they can. There's one officer in Louisiana who just couldn't resist the beat. Take a look at this. He tried his best to keep it professional. The officer was working a Mardi Gras parade when a popular line dancing song came on, and as you can see, he couldn't help but to move his feet, no matter how hard he tried. not to. One Instagram user wrote, "No one from New Orleans can resist the beat. You gotta move out the way and let it take control." Yeah, you gotta surrender to the music. There is more ahead on Featured. We introduce you to an everyday hero. How many lives this man has saved for the past 50 years. Plus, you know, grandmas, they hold a special place in many people's hearts, and a group of grannies have a little extra love to give to folks who need it. We'll show you how they are comforting strangers in New York. With us here on Featured, I'm Symphony Privet. Glad you're with us, and we are bringing you some uplifting stories across the country. A blood bank in San Diego was honoring a volunteer who's donated 170 gallons of blood. Whoa, he sits down with Jeff Zevely to share what motivated him to roll up his sleeves for more than 50 years.
There we are in the beginning, 1965.
3 years after marriage, Jim and Linda Walker were expecting a baby.
Unfortunately, she was anemic. So her doctor suggested that I go and give a pint of blood in case she needed it.
Jim liked the idea of helping his wife, but also strangers. At least once every 8 weeks, you were in here.
That's right.
Jim was told he impacted 3 lives with every donation, so he kept coming back for 5 decades.
You meet people that have been given blood and are living because they received blood from someone. It makes you feel good.
It's inspiring to see people like Jim having such an impact.
CEO Doug Morton and the San Diego Blood Bank are celebrating 75 years. Take a look back at their history, and by the most modest estimates, millions of lives were saved.
None of that's possible without incredible donors, incredible staff, right? An amazing legacy, right? You go from board members all the way down to volunteers in our canteen.
Volunteers like Jim Walker, the poster child.
Yes.
On vacation, wherever he goes, Jim promotes the cause.
I have so many blood bank t-shirts that I advertise the blood bank no matter where I'm at.
Even on Halloween.
That's me, every Halloween.
You're in here?
Every Halloween I try to wear a costume in.
6 months ago, doctors put Jim on a blood thinner, which meant he could no longer donate blood. But that didn't stop him from showing up.
Now I'm just a canteen volunteer.
After donors give blood,
how did your donation go today?
Very good.
There's Jim with a smile and thank you. You might say he's the best type of zombie, one who personally gave 170 gallons of his own blood.
They're trying to get rid of me, but they just can't get rid of me. I just keep coming back.
Yet there's an urgency to find the next generation of blood bank heroes. What would you say to one of our younger viewers who says, I've never given blood, I don't know about that? What would you tell them?
Yeah. You know, it's an incredible feeling to know that you've saved a life.
Just ask Jim Walker, who made a life-saving difference for 2,200 people. How does that make you feel?
Fantastic. Because you smile and you know you've done something for somebody else and it didn't cost you a cent.
Jim went from helping his wife to saving thousands of lives. That is some incredible work. And thanks to Jeff Zevely for that story. Now we are heading to the heart of Minneapolis now, where a different kind of school is providing lessons for kindergarten through 12th grade. Boyd Hubert explains how the students are not only getting an education, but support as well.
A southbound Blue Line train.
What you see down the street doesn't exactly align with Little House on the Prairie.
Good morning, everybody.
But make no mistake.
Happy Tuesday.
In the heart of Minneapolis.
Hi, Tracy.
You have indeed arrived.
Got a big circle now.
At a throwback.
Morning, Kaylee.
A K through 12, one-room schoolhouse.
9 days till your birthday. Love to see it.
Katie Brown is the teacher.
Thanks for sharing.
In
I got a new giant water bottle.
a different kind of school. house.
We like to celebrate the good things around here at Ronald McDonald House.
The good
Abdi, anything good for you today?
mixed with the hard.
This is Axel.
Axel Walters.
He had a bone marrow transplant.
Has been staying with his mom, Malia,
It's snowing.
at Ronald McDonald House.
Why ain't there?
There
That going that way, that well.
is
From Sutton, Nebraska.
home.
You guys came a long way to be here to help your brother, right?
Home to Axel and his stem cell donating brother,
Not one.
Austin.
There you go.
Here since December.
Now we have to stay here until we reach day 100 and then we're gonna go home.
All includes Austin's middle school siblings, Amelia and Caleb.
3, 4.
Also here,
Yeah, I'm a single mom.
keeping their family together as they keep up with their studies.
Try that.
In one of just 2 Ronald McDonald houses in the country,
Good ones.
operating its own school
Okay, amazing.
with
Abdi, how's it going?
another distinction.
We're one of 2 one-room schoolhouses left in the state of Minnesota. Up on the northwest angle is the other one.
Jill Ivanocek
First thing we're gonna do,
oversees this place
I'm gonna have you build it.
where
Okay?
Mrs. Brown
41.
deftly moves
Okay, you start counting your tens, okay?
from 3rd grader
Oh, geez.
to
Okay.
12th.
All right, so let's take a look. So, introduction to logarithms.
The senior is Isai Andrade, here from
Honduras.
Here.
27.
Yeah.
While his little brother gets a kidney transplant.
We are all here, all the family.
Here with Mrs. Brown,
Más que cero.
who found herself here 3 years ago
This looks really good, Isai. You're doing a nice job.
after moving from Illinois for her husband's job.
As we were getting ready to move to Minnesota, I was thinking about, what is a way I can combine my passions for nonprofit work and education, and this is the perfect place to be.
She became just the 2nd teacher
Who's got another one?
in the school's 27-year history. Recently,
Very good.
welcoming 1st grader Jenna Ray Sellner.
Because my mom had the baby and the baby was born too early, 4 months early.
Children's Minnesota is now home for baby brother Colin, while mom and dad are staying at Ronald McDonald House with Jenna Ray
Sick.
and older brother Harrison.
Just walk down the stairs and I'm at school.
Harrison didn't ask to be here.
Different.
None of them did.
Not feeling good.
Oh, I'm sorry. The goal is to try to be in a growth mindset.
But then they learned that different isn't so bad.
I love that.
Now I think they'll be just as sad when we have to go back home.
Perhaps the best one-room schoolhouse lesson.
It looks so nice. I love the braids in the front.
Boyd Hoopert, Carol 11 News.
Thanks, Ham. You have a pencil?
A teenager is leaving the Houston rodeo with a big prize. Now, he thought he was just going to be a guest judge, but little did he know he would be a winner. Maria Aguilera explains.
All smiles and plenty of good food. The Houston Rodeo, always a good time for families. Inside the NRG Center, you can find some of the same things. And if you go in deeper, you'll find students competing, showing their cattle.
You ready? We're going to judge a class together.
Inside this arena, one student who was not in a competition was given a big surprise.
Thank you, everybody, for having me out here.
Brady Barton, a high school senior from Central Texas, traveled to Houston with his family, expecting to be a guest.
Just blessed. Finally, I blacked out for a little bit. I'm back to normal now.
He was asked to help judge a class of Brahman heifers, and that's when they dropped the news.
Congratulations.
His favorite breed that he now gets to take home.
Just always, since I was itty bitty, just wanted to be around cows.
He spent most of his life raising cattle, but at 15, everything changed. After having appendicitis, doctors discovered he had lymphoma.
And he said it's a fast-growing cancer.
For Brady, it was difficult not to be able to do what he loves.
Just a bunch of mixed emotions, just being 15 years old, you don't expect that to happen to you.
Now 17 years old and cancer-free, with an animal to add to his herd.
I just always wanted a Bremer heifer, a real fancy one.
Really?
She's sure fancy, yes ma'am.
It was all thanks to Make-A-Wish Foundation.
We get wishes for kids every single day that just absolutely surprised me. When I saw that Brady had wished for a cow, there was really only one call I could make, and that was to the rodeo.
The rodeo answered that call to make Brady's wish come true.
It was just a perfect pairing when he asked for something that we already are promoting.
He now gets to continue with his passion.
It's almost overwhelming. but I'm real thankful and just blessed is really all that I have to say. I'm just blessed.
For Brady, this isn't just about winning a prize. It's about reclaiming what he loves most.
And that was Maria Aguilera reporting. We're keeping the animal theme going now, heading over to Colorado, where farmers waited in some long lines to fill up buckets of bison manure. Yeah, Janelle Finch explains why the dung is not only valuable, but sacred.
So you could back in next to the black Jeep.
Dozens of farmers and garden growers came in to get a piece of what's come out. The Teepee Raisers is a nonprofit serving Native communities. They're giving away bison manure to use as fertilizer.
Bring me a thing of flowers sometime. Truly, once said, I'd love to know how this goes.
What isn't used Sunday will be sent to Native tribes across the country.
Bring it all the way over!
Their giveaway isn't all crap. Organizers say bison are highly honored in Indigenous culture. The animal's importance isn't lost on Lee Plennywolf.
Oh, yeah. Yes, a bison brought us up to the world above and showed us how to live and how to survive.
He's a member of the Ogallala Lakota Nation.
Our reservation is Pine Ridge out of South Dakota.
He says his people used bison as spiritual guides and means of survival. Plennywolf says different parts of the bison were used to make teepees and tools.
This came from a bison that used to live up here in Colorado. We use it to hold our sacred pipe. And this drum, the inside here is cottonwood. So we cut the cottonwood and then we hollow it out. And then we put the bison head and string it up with the rest of it.
The poop, he says, has purpose too.
The poop regenerates not only Unjimaka, Grandmother Earth, but also, makes the soil rich and for growing.
He says Native communities appreciate all parts of the bison, right down to what's no longer a part of the bison.
Good.
Now, through Teepee Raisers, the spirit of the bison is further spread throughout Colorado.
Have a good day. Yeah, you bet.
That was Janelle Finch reporting. Let's head to space now. I love the space stuff. Columbia Sportswear is exploring the moon. Thomas Schultz introduces us to the team that is behind the mission.
Fly us to the moon. With a little help from an outdoor company on Earth?
It's a real thrill.
A real thrill for Columbia CEO Tim Boyle and hundreds of employees.
It's absolutely incredible.
As they watched a lander named Athena touch down on the moon.
There aren't many companies that can claim, they went from global to intergalactic.
Columbia partnered with Initiative Machines to send Athena to the South Pole in hopes of finding ice in an area that's rarely been explored. And it couldn't have been done without the Pacific Northwest juggernaut.
It's just an honor, and it's so exciting to see that Pacific Northwest heritage blend so seamlessly with innovation and literally the next frontier in space.
Columbia kept the lander warm on its 9-day journey through tech it uses in jackets. That's tough to do in fluctuating space temperatures,
which are pretty extreme. They can range from minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit to plus 250 degrees Fahrenheit.
Haskell Beckham, VP of Innovation at Columbia, says the company also blocked solar radiation from affecting the lander, once again using tech found in the company's products. After they gather data of the product in space, Columbia officials say they can create even better products for us down here.
You take new insights and you can actually adopt those and integrate those into your consumer products to help people here on Earth.
Before blasting off again to even bigger adventures.
There are people in Washington, D.C. who want to go to Mars, and so we're ready to help do that.
And that was Thomas Schultz reporting. Columbia Sportswear says the lander is also searching for soil on the moon. Now, NASA believes lunar soil could be extracted and used by future explorers to produce fuel or even breathable oxygen up there. Alrighty, up next, we are taking you inside a Texas museum that hones in on one of the 5 senses. Stay with us. Welcome back. Libraries are full of information from books, old and new. And the Phoenix Public Library in Arizona has quite a few rare gems on their hands. And as Crystal Long shows us, some of them are even from the 1500s.
In this room, we have collections that equal about 5,000 items. We have clay tablets from 2000 BC, all the way to artist-made books from 2024. Directly behind me is a cabinet full of first edition, and then surrounding me is sort of a tasting of books from 15th through 19th century and some first edition classics. This is The Life and Death of King John. It's from 1685, and we believe it comes from Shakespeare's Fourth Folio. This is a tiny Bible. It's a miniature Bible from 1593, and you can just see how tiny that type is.
I think I need a magnifying glass.
I like to place this next to this big Bible. People kind of get a kick out of that. This is a Washington printing press from 1895. It's fully functional. Then if you wouldn't mind, grab this and slowly pull it toward me and then carry it back, and then we will roll it out, and then we would get print. So here we have exhibit really showcasing the works of John Milton. And for those that are not familiar with John Milton, think of it in terms of English literary giants. You have Shakespeare and then John Milton. We have John Milton's famous work Paradise Lost from 1668, as well as a collection of his works from 1697. This is Raphael Holinshed's Chronicles of England, Scotland, and Ireland from 1587. This copy of Holinshed's Chronicles belonged to John Milton, and that the annotations were in fact his.
Alrighty, if you are ever in the Phoenix area and you want to check out the rare book collection, make sure you make an appointment before you go. It is required. That was Crystal Long reporting. Now, most of the time when you visit a museum, visitors are asked not to touch the items on display, but that's not the case at a museum in North Texas, where the visitors are not only encouraged to touch things in the building, they can also lick it. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Now, if you're worried about germs, Sean Giggy explains why you shouldn't be.
Museums. Everyone has their favorite, but without a doubt, the place we're headed today is the most lickable museum in America.
You mean likable?
No, lickable.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced likable.
No, it means lickable. Lickable.
The building is made of salt outside. You can actually go out there and lick it.
You can, and 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 a lot of people have made the hour drive from Dallas to get a taste of the Salt Palace Museum in Grand Saline. Tomasa King, one of the museum's docents, says germaphobes have no fear.
Now, salt kills all germs, just to let you know.
So, what is this place, and why on earth would anyone build a museum using salt?
We have just a huge, beautiful mountain of it.
That mountain was more of a pancake when the Caddo Indians discovered salt just sitting there on top of the ground more than 1,000 years ago. And yet, for an entire millennium, neither the Caddo nor anyone knew what lay underneath. Until the Morton Salt Company arrived 100 years ago.
We do a lot of the world's salt from here, and people don't even know we exist most of the time.
Below these city streets is salt, 4 miles deep. So much salt, there's enough to last another 20,000 years.
If you buy salt, if you look on the bottom and it says GS, that means it came from Grand Saline.
The original Salt Palace was built in 1936. Eventually, it dissolved. It was made of salt, after all, but they kept rebuilding. This is the 4th Salt Palace. Inside, it's like a grain of salt, tiny, yet powerful, packed with information and seasoned with history, enough to change the way you feel about salt.
I have a lot of people that come in and say, no, I'm not going to do it, and they go right outside and lick that building.
If you have great taste in museums, then you've got to come here, because there's no place tastier. Delicious.
Sean Giggy, you are better than me, honey. Because I'm not looking on that wall. But we listen and we don't judge. That was Sean Giggy reporting. Here's what's coming up next on Featured. We are going to a grandma stand that's giving out advice to people on the streets of New York City. We hear from one man about his experience. Welcome back. Girl dads are gonna love this one. I gotta be sure to clip this and send it to Papa Privet. Now, some of you may feel like you are special. A little girl just flat out stresses you out sometimes, but it turns out she is keeping you alive. Yeah, don't take my word for it. There's some science to back it up. A study from a university in Poland finds that fathers with daughters tend to live longer than those without. Now, to be more precise, a dad gets 74 more weeks for each daughter he has. Now, the study collected data from more than 4,000 moms and dads combined. The results showed daughters had a substantial effect on the life expectancy of dads. I'd say so myself. I know I bring Papa Privet a ton of joy. On the flip side, it says sons had no measurable impact. Ooh. Yikes. Alrighty, now if you've been over to New York City, you know there's all kinds of attractions that draw in big crowds over there, but what is happening at a purple stand in the city is hitting people right in the feels once a week. A grandma stand, check this out, pops up on the streets of New York, and people can just stop and chat with a grandmother for some free advice every week. And there's a different topic every week. Some are lighter, like what brings you joy, while the others are a little bit heavier, like what is the discussion you need to have with your parent? Regardless of the topic, people are thankful for the listening ear.
She was here for me and a message that I needed to hear.
77-year-old grandmother connecting with a 35-year-old man that needed someone to talk to. And that's what we all need, someone to talk to and affirm that we are a person of value.
Mike Matthews started the stand back in 2012 with his own grandmother, 95-year-old Eileen. Well, unfortunately, she died in 2018, but he wanted her legacy to live on. So in 2024, Matthews brought the stand back out, painted it purple, and expanded his roster of grandmas. Now he's looking for even more. Matthews says he wants to spark meaningful dialogue and remind us all of the value of our senior citizens. And I always appreciate chatting with my grandmothers. One of them unfortunately passed away, but I deeply value the phone calls that we used to have. And it was like she always knew what to say. She would know when something was wrong before I told her. That's why she ended up calling me. And she would know just what I needed to hear. I miss her so much. And then my other grandma, who's still alive, I do call her every now and then just to, you know, check on how she's doing and to get some advice. So make sure you are showing love to those special folks in your life. Alrighty, that is it for Featured. I hope you found a little something today that inspired you or simply made you smile and maybe made you laugh. We try to bring the laughs on this show. Until next time, make it a great one.